Okay, guys, we can start. Am I audible to all of you? Can you just message me? Okay. Okay, guys. So we will start the session. We'll continue the session. The next topic is division of labor. Okay. See, the questions which can be expected from this area, division of labor. If you see, they can ask you the short note, organic and mechanical solidarity. Okay. Or there will be a direct question, what is division of labor? His concept of division of labor or theory. Then these two are related to statements that I have incorporated the statement in the write-up, and then you will come to know what exactly is that particular statement. And then most important question which can be asked from this, these days the trend is like this only. Rather than asking a direct single theory, they will ask you what is that question which can be expected. It is comparison between Marx and, just 1 minute guys, Marx and Durkheim with respect to the framework of division of labor. Okay, so that is what you can expect. So where you discuss division of labor in Marxian perspective, mainly in his theory of division alienation, right? There is where we discuss about division of labor, the process of production, and everything is discussed in alienation, that theory. So you need to connect with this theory with the theory of alienation that we have discussed. That is his framework of division of labor. So I hope that part is very clear. So generally what the students will do is they just write this one part and ignoring the other part. You will not get anything for that. So talk about Durkheim, talk about division of labor. What is Durkheim talk about two functions for division of labor. One, integrating people, like it's an organic solidarity. Modern society, it's based on organic solidarity. So it integrate people like organs in the body. Everybody is interdependent. Right. So in that way, the people are different, and that's why people are together. While we like those who resemble us, we are also drawn towards others precisely because they are different. So here differences bring the solidarity. In one of the other theory of Durkheim, we have discussed similarities bring the solidarity. Which is that theory? Any idea? Can anyone quickly tell me? Where, in which theory similarities bring togetherness? Religion, right? In theory of religion, we have discussed yesterday that the similarities, when you go for the same system of beliefs and practices, you will be together, collectivity. So their similarities bring people together. Here differences will bring people together. We seek in others what we lack in ourselves. So Durkheim explained, guys, these are points which has to come in your answers, even if they're asking you division of labor, or they're asking you function of division of labor, or there's a point which you can also write in the theory of religion. These are very important points where you can clearly tell your knowledge and your understanding on the thinker. Even if the theory is about religion, you will be talking towards the end in this particular theory. Durkheim talk about how people are together based on similarity. He also mentioned how people are together and integrated in terms of differences in his theory of division of labor with the concept of organic solidarity. That one line is going to add a lot of value. Okay, that one extra mark, if you can get, guys, 1 mark means around 13, 14, 15, sometimes 30, 35 ranks if you go below. That you have to take very seriously, that 1 points that you need to add towards. And that's what I'm always telling you, before you conclude 1 or 2 criticisms, you need to write, doesn't matter whatever question they're asking. If you know that if it is alienation, simply 10 marker, still write 1 or 2 criticism, easy criticism. Robert Blumer, you use that. Okay, or Darendorf or Weber, any 1 or 2 criticism, even in 10 marker, that should be there in your muscle memory. So automatically you see this, and this is how I'll write. And that is an advantage also, because even if you're lacking any content in the actual answer, when you're writing this 1 or 2 criticism, that will solve that problem. Okay, is there anything which I need to explain in this, guys? I don't think anything needs explanation, because you guys already know this. No, I'm saying religion integrate people on the basis of similarities, right? People who follow the same beliefs and practices, they will be united under a single moral community called a church. So when we discuss the function of religion, that's what we discussed yesterday. The people who follow the same beliefs and practices are together. Here, people who are different are together, right? You are dependent on me. like that. I am dependent on others, you or other, everybody is depending on every other. You are studying sociology from me, history from some other teacher, geography from some other teacher, economy from some other teacher. So why? Because you don't know that, right? So you seek in others what you lack in yourselves. And associations are formed wherever there is a true exchange of services there. So we have formed association here, and that is why we are forming a collectivity. We are integrated here. Okay, so that is in terms of differences. You can write in division of labor, you can write in religion, you can write about division of labor, that one line in your theory of religion. That is something which you need to do. That's what I'm telling you. People generally won't do that. People think that they have been taught in the same way. You should not beat around the bush. Okay, you should not do that. You should not be talking about why if the question is asked about X. But that's not the case. If the Durkheim was asked, his concept and his perspective need to be there. In all these answers, it has to be there. Just follow this approach, guys. And see, people will understand these things after giving 2-3 mains, right? I'm telling you this with my experience. When you go for this approach, you are completely telling the examiner about the knowledge that you have, because you will definitely are not going to get 2 theories of Durkheim. You are not going to get that. Division of labor and religion, they're not going to ask. So if division of labor is asked, when you write about the function, differences integrate. One more line you can write because it is connected, right? Similarities integrate where in theory of religion. So Durkheim talk integration based on both similarities as well as differences. So these are the points which I want you to write. Guys, the point is everybody know all these theory and all these points. Whatever I have told, it is there in the notes. Whoever you attended the coaching, everybody will be telling you all these things. But ultimately, when you are writing, will you be able to bring it or not is what matters ultimately. So that's what you need to focus on. Okay. So any mechanical solidarity, organic solidarity, mechanical solidarity, traditional society, right? And then organic solidarity is based on modern society. So I have given a description here, the material here. You all know this, so there is no point in discussing that. Now, in this theory, he is defining division of labor, like in all theory, and then he will go for causal explanation. What is a cause? Cause is, in one word, one line, if you need to tell, struggle for existence in the present occupation. That's why you create specialization. That's the reason for division of labor for Durkheim. But for economists, they may say it differently. It is to improve productivity, profitability, and all. And when it comes to the function for Durkheim, it is integration. There is one more function. It provides the autonomy, because when you're specializing in that area, you are the expert in that area, and you're getting complete autonomy in that area. You can express your creativity. You can produce more. That's what you mean by autonomy. So 2 functions of division of labor for Durkheim. What are they? What are they? Integration. People are integrated in terms of differences. Organic solidarity. Everybody dependent on every others, like organs in the body dependent, right? Second, autonomy. But if you see Marx, is it integration? No. So function itself, you got 2 points which you can contend with, right? Not integration. It is conflicting in nature, antagonistic cooperation. Use that word. And then, is it providing autonomy to produce? No. Marx is talking about it is hindering the creativity. Man, by nature, is a creative humanism. Man is above all homo faber. Man, the maker. He can produce everything in his own way. But when there is division of labor, it is hindering the creativity of any human being or individual. So division of labor, alienating rather than giving autonomy, rather than giving opportunity to produce. Okay, so that's the key point from where you can write your answer. Then the solution for these problems, Marx considered this problem as permanent, and he need revolution for that. Durkheim talk about abnormal situation. Sometime it may be problematic, but that can be solved within the mode of production. Marx is talking about change of mode of production. Durkheim talk about change in mode of production. Everything is there, and you know everything. So all these points is what you need to incorporate, but the thread is integration, antagonist cooperation, alienation, autonomy. That's the main thread, and then develop on it. So causal explanation, this is a diagram which will explain everything, right? So the primitive society, which is based on mechanical solidarity, which is segmentary in nature. With time, population increase, interaction increase. That is what Durkheim says, material and moral density. people have access to activities performed on other bands. Earlier in segmentary, in bands, now access. So there is a struggle for existence in the present occupation. The logical conclusion is fittest will survive and the unfit will create specialization. That's the reason for specialization and division of labor. So he discussed this, the cause first, and then he explained the function. Why he is doing that separately? To avoid illegitimate teleology. In all his answers, when you're writing, these words should come. You also need to tell Durkheim separate cause and function, or Durkheim give a causal functional explanation in order to avoid illegitimate teleology. Should be there in your answer. Doesn't matter it's a 10 marker or a 20 marker. Guys, I'm expecting with these 3 days when I'm spending with you for thinkers, maybe for tomorrow also, I'm giving you all the keywords. These keywords should be there in your answer. Everything else we have done in the class, you have already attended the classes or the material, everything is there. But these words should be there in your answer, okay? Function, it is integration. Abnormal forms, anomie, division of labor, inadequate organization, forced division of labor. See, this anomie, even they will ask you to compare it with Merton's anomie. Merton, when he discuss about anomie, he talk about the problem of social structure. There is a discrepancy between means and goals. Here, this is a problem which is happening temporarily due to situations of normlessness, elation. That situation is what Durkheim talking about. This diagram, draw this diagram. With time, mechanical solidarity will come down, right? And organic solidarity will go up because society is getting more modern. Separately, organic solidarity they can ask you, mechanical solidarity they can ask you, organic and mechanical solidarity they can ask you. So answer is there, just go through that. The same thing repeated with examples. Okay guys, is there any problem with respect to this question? Emile Durkheim's understanding of division of labor in society shifted the emphasis from its economic significance to its social and moral significance in society. So it is crystal clear. Till then, this is a concept which has been discussed. This is one important point which you will write in one of the other answer also. What is that? If you get a comparison on sociology and economics from your chapter 2 or chapter 1, you should never miss Durkheim. Right? You don't want to frame your answer or mug up your answer. This is a point which you can even write in your sociology versus economic division of labor, which is something considered as purely economics domain. The concept given by Adam Smith, the functions is to increase productivity, profitability, and thereby efficiency and all these things. But now the total focus has been shifted, right? It is not for productivity or profitability, that may be there, but division of labor integrating people. So it becomes more of social for Durkheim. Just read this answer so that you'll get a different perspective. Pathological form, any theory you're writing, just mention towards the end. Durkheim also mentioned about pathological form. That means something which goes beyond a limit, it becomes pathological. Suicide, if it goes beyond a limit, it becomes pathological. Crime goes beyond a limit, it becomes pathological. So it's here specifically, he have given 3 situations, pathology, right? Anomie, division of labor, inadequate organization, forced division of labor. Guys, social system. There are 2 ways in which you can proceed with. You first talk about Parson, okay, prominent American sociologist, and all those things you will write. Integrated approach, micro, macro. He added things from positivism, non-positivism. Whatever exclusivism favored by other perspective has been incorporated in Parsons' approach. He gave grand theory, multidisciplinary framework. Okay, all these things you can write in introduction based on the demand of the question. If it is 10 marker, directly jump out to the question. 20 marker, you have the scope to write all these things. Then if it is system, you start explaining, right? Briefly, maybe you can start with social action, or this is one way in which you can write social system. If you can remember this definition, this is going to be slightly difficult, consisting of plurality of individual actors, this definition. If not, you talk about this definition. If actions are oriented towards others, like my action oriented towards you, and are in a state of mutual reciprocity. That means what? You are also listening. Listening itself is a reciprocation, and also asking questions, right? So this is a state of mutual reciprocity. then what will happen? Interactions takes place. Action, reciprocation, interaction between you and me. This interaction will result into a system when, if there is a common goal, we have a common goal, right? And norms and values, yes, we follow norms and values, right? And there is an abstract boundary. We have a boundary. That is why no others are entering into this system. So this class itself was a system. Just remember that, then this is going to be very simple, right? And he's talking about mechanism equilibrium phase and requisite functionalism phase, right? So these are the conditions for the system. This is the definition of the system. Mug it up if possible. If any one of you can do, it is very easy only. Guys, hardly you have few definitions in sociology, right? So it is always better that you can mug it up, because these are in Parsons words. So it's going to be highly rewarding if you can write it just like this, cut, copy, paste, simple. These conditions, it's going to be slightly lengthy, but definitely it will be rewarded. Okay, so this theory is there in the two phase. There's a mechanism equilibrium phase and there is a requisite functionalism phase. So the first part, the maintenance of a system, that is what he's addressing in mechanism equilibrium phase. The functions fulfilled by a particular system, that is what he's addressing in the requisite functionalism phase. In requisite functionalism phase is where you discuss about this AGIL model, adaptation, goal attainment, integration, and latency. Maintenance of social system, that's where you discuss about moving equilibrium, right? That's specific. I'll give you the diagram. This one. This, yeah, there are specific mechanisms which will fulfill the needs, right? And then bring equilibrium. Like family is a mechanism which fulfill the need. The police, judiciary is certain mechanisms which fulfill the need and bring equilibrium. If there is a disturbance, but how this disturbance I've discussed yesterday. I think yesterday we have discussed it, cybernetic hierarchy of control. So what is cybernetic hierarchy of control? There is an information flow, there is an energy flow. If there is a break in the flow, there will be a disturbance. That means equilibrium will be broken. Then what will happen? The feedback will be given. Mechanism will act, right? See, when computers and this IT and this internet boom and everything came, that's a new disturbance have created in terms of cyber crimes and everything. So new laws have came, new mechanism. Similarly, when industrialization, then equilibrium have broken from the previous system. So maybe the demand is joint family to nuclear family due to the demand of migration and all these things. So joint family to nuclear family, right? Now live-in relation. All these are, coming based on the demand of the situation. So society is always in an equilibrium, always in an equilibrium. There may be a temporary disturbance. How about Marx? The disturbance is permanent. What is the solution? Not the feedback. Entire mode of production need to be overthrown. Okay. So adaptation, goal attainment, integration, latency. That this just completed, guys. This diagram is not correct. It is actually a proper matrix you need to draw. Here also there is some mistake. Okay. But there is actually correct. That connections is not perfect. Show here interconnection. Okay. Between all AGIL, all are interconnected. A to G, G to A to I to A, L to G, G to L. All these connections you need to show here. I don't have the pen to show you now. I hope you understood. You guys know this. And there's the AGIL model of society. Okay. This is what the cybernetic hierarchy of control. This also need to be there. If they're asking you social change according to Parsons, talk about moving equilibrium as well as cybernetic hierarchy of control. If they're talking about mechanism equilibrium phase, still you talk about moving equilibrium and cybernetic hierarchy of control. If they're talking about moving equilibrium, still talk about whatever we have discussed there and cybernetic hierarchy of control. If they're asking about cybernetic hierarchy of control, talk about this and then moving equilibrium. I hope it is clear. Everything is one and the same. That these are different ways in which they will ask you questions. Okay. So cultural system is the source of information. Organismic system is the source of energy. If there is this is how interaction takes place in terms of exchanges. If there is a break, then specific mechanisms will have to act again and they fulfill the need, bring back the equilibrium. What are the functional prerequisites? Guys, it can be a 10 marker. It is nothing but AGIL. It is nothing but requisite functionalism. From Parsons' perspective is what you need to write here. AGIL. Okay. Same from what you have written before. Same. There's a different way in which you write it. Rational legal authority. This is something which we have discussed yesterday. Subjective perception of objective reality prepares the context of articulation of class antagonism. So seeing this itself, you'll understand that class antagonism, they can ask you class struggle, class conflict, class antagonism, all are the same, class struggle. So talk about class polarization, bourgeoisization, proletarianization, class in itself, class for itself, true consciousness, false consciousness, all these things need to be there. Causes of class antagonism, okay, and then subjective perception of objective reality, that you can also explain alienation, that is one of the cause for class struggle. And then the mechanism of class struggle in each mode of production. I've given you the diagram also yesterday. So just do that. There's a very simple question. So is there any problem with this one? Explain how, according to Emile Durkheim, division of labor could be functional as well as anomie for society. We have discussed already about these two. Functional, when? Because of integration and it is ensuring autonomy. So that is the function. So talk about the theory first and then talk about the function and explain how it is functional for society. What is this anomie? That he discussed in the pathological form, right? Abnormal form. Anomie, division of labor. Explain that in a state of normlessness, right? So there can be, unnecessary competitions, and people will suffer due to this competition, fake advertisements and all these things, right? So that can be anomie for society. It can be misleading. You can give a lot of examples from your side also. But guys, I just want you to, realize that the questions, there is nothing which you cannot answer. It's only that they will be giving you in different language, but ultimately you will be writing almost the same thing in all these answers, all these questions. Okay, guys, this one, how Max Weber applies the ideal type construct in establishing a relationship between religion and economy. It's a clear case. We have discussed yesterday the same thing. He constructed ideal type of capitalism, ideal type of religion, the Protestant ethic, and he went for a comparative analysis by using this causal pluralism, and he established that religion acted as a spirit, but the entire process is made possible also due to the substance which was present during that time. Then also talk about China, religion of India, and Judaism. Okay, briefly mention about what you mean by ideal type also. Guys, these are the questions. If you jump onto it, and you will be getting good score if you're writing proper way. This way we have discussed. Nothing beyond this you need to do. Also, tell me guys, what else you can do to add value here? Ideal type of economy you have to write. So Marx's contribution in historical sociology, you can write Marx. This is what you can write actually, Marxian theory of historical materialism and all those things that we have learned. That is his contribution. Not Parson. Here, this theory. Towards the end, I want you to write one point which will add more value to the answer. This is what historical sociology. This is what you can write. This theory itself. Guys, I'm asking you in this question which we are discussing, towards the end, you can write one point. No, spirit and substance anyway is part of the theory. Marx, that's what I want. You will be talking about Max Weber here. Towards the end, you will be talking about Karl Marx and tell how the reverse relation. See, normally they prefer to ask you comparison between Marx and Weber in terms of their framework on capitalism. That's a trend these days. But in case if they're asking one side only, that means Weber only, you talk about Marx towards the end. If they're asking Marx, you talk about Weber towards the end. Marx is giving a reverse relation, right? Here, here it is religion established capitalism. Marx says capitalism created the religion and religious beliefs and everything. All these ethics are created by whom? Capitalist. Not these ethics created capitalism. Okay? Because see, you think in the reverse way. All these ethics will tell you to work hard. Who actually want to work hard? The capitalist. So these ethics also created by whom? According to Marx. These religious ethics, notion of calling, workers worship, and all these things, you have to do work with devotion. It is a calling, it is a mission. It looks like directly it is created by the capitalist. So the reverse relation is what is more suitable, right? Correct? Okay, this one was easy. This is okay, no? Methodology used by Emile Durkheim and Max Weber. This is something which should come from your chapter 1 and 2, right? Emile Durkheim, mainly talking about social fact. Max Weber, social action. Emile Durkheim, value orientation. Max Weber, motivational orientation. Emile Durkheim, macro. Weber, micro, right? Emile Durkheim trying to understand the social facts in terms of externalities. Positivism. Max Weber, non-positivism, internal aspect, meanings, emotions, and all. Both are similar in terms of what? Both are stressing on objectivity, both are stressing on scientific study. Parsons' theory, it's a critical analysis. Write the theory, write the criticism. QUIST, the spelling mistake you need to correct, status quest. Somebody was asking me this question yesterday, right? Critically analyze Marx's notion of alienation in the context of present day capitalism. We have discussed it. I think Punit was asking yesterday about this one. Okay. So present situation of capitalism, talk about the present situation of capitalism, talk about the theory of alienation, and then tell when Marx is writing, you have to work for more than 15, 16 hours a day without any extra incentive. Now also you can work for 15, 16 hours with extra incentive. There are labor welfare organization, there are various laws for the protection of workers, and all those things is there. There are more opportunity for creativity in this time. So guys, it's if you have read about this, from here itself, you can make a perspective. Otherwise, you also will be able to contribute from your side with your knowledge and understanding about the present system. Conclusion, it can be, you will be always talking about relevance, right? You can tell that if still, even though we talk about all these measures have been taken by these, inequality is so high, only the rich people are making more and more money. Even though this welfare and everything is there, still poverty is there, still inequality is there, so the Marxian concerns are relevant. That you can write. You can also write in the above, a positive note that in the modern society, where the technology is getting so advanced, okay, the creativity is actually more than Marx visualized. So yes, you need to write both sides. Why you need to write only one dimension? You don't want to do that. Just write both sides. Alienation, it is there. In this dimension, it is still there. Even then, what Marx have discussed, more alienation you will see in some dimension, some areas, but more creativity you can see in some other dimension. So talk about both. These are the areas where you still find alienation. These are the areas where you find more creativity and opportunity. These are the areas workers are getting a lot of benefits, but still these are the areas workers are still facing the problems. Okay, so both dimensions need to be there. How can I become an entrepreneur? Theory of religion we discussed yesterday, right? Here the questions can be directly theory of religion. Okay, guys, remember theory of religion we discussed in Marx, opium of masses, right? Capitalism created religion. Theory of religion we discussed in Weber. Religion created capitalism. Theory of religion we discussed in Durkheim, an entirely different approach. State of exaltation, collective effervescence, worshipping society, and it is integrating people. So they can ask you Weber, Marx comparison. What is that comparison? It is a reverse relation. They can ask you Durkheim-Marx comparison. What is that comparison? One is integrating, the other is antagonist cooperation conflict. Chances are rare they will ask you Durkheim and Weber, because actually there is not much you can connect with. But still, I have given you a question. Just for the sake of giving a question, I've given a question, compare Max Weber and Durkheim. But mostly they will ask you Durkheim and Marx. Why? In terms of perspective. You need to understand this. If you need to compare Durkheim and Marx, you will be comparing it in terms of mainly perspective, conflict and functional, integration and alienation or conflict. When it comes to Weber, it is that reverse relationship. Capitalism led to religion, religion led to capitalism. This theory we discussed yesterday. Okay, state of exaltation, collective effervescence. You are worshipping the society, not the God. You're worshipping the togetherness and all those things we done. Guys, here, functional analysis of religion given by Durkheim. Do I want you to tell you that this is a question basically asked from the Marxian perspective? As soon as you see critical review, it is almost like you need to make a comparison between Durkheim and Marx. So first you explain Durkheim completely, then you go for the criticism, mainly use Marx, also write other thinkers as well. You can bring in other thinkers. You can talk about Merton, multiplicity of religion create conflict. That is one criticism. Marx, it is an entirely different approach. So other thinkers also, you can use here. But at least two should be there. You can talk about feminist also, right? Symbolic interactionism, direct question. Just 1 minute. Pathology, he is always talking about pathology. If something goes beyond a limit, right, it is not functional. Merton, we discussed again yesterday, right? What are the key points? Postulates, then the new concepts introduced, dysfunction, non-function, net balance, alternatives, manifest latent function, middle range theory, functional paradigm. So guys, see how easy this question is going to be. If they're asking you the concepts introduced by Merton, or how Merton has contributed more to functionalism, or why he is called as father of neo-functionalism, you just write these things in your answer. There is no problem of content deficit, right? 3 postulates you write first. Concepts introduced, paradigm, talk about middle range theory, talk about manifest and latent function. Understand, these all are separate questions also that you can get. So once you are able to write all these in one question, imagine the kind of content that you have. Okay. Okay, what is the page number now? Are we repeating the same thing, or I don't know, because of 2 batches I'm confused actually. We did all this yesterday also. Yeah, limitation of generalized theory of Parson, you need to talk. You need to tell that Parson's theories are not empirically testable, not practically applicable. So there is a criticism for Parson's theory, and in that backdrop only, Merton proposed middle range theory. Merton is a student of Parson. So because of that backdrop, mainly proper use of methods, no lack of use of methods in Parson's approach, and empirical testability. What is the advantage of middle range theory? Empirically testable. At the same time, you are making a generalization also. And you can also make grand theory, but not like the way Parson made. For Merton also, he's not averse of grand theory. He's saying you can make it, but it should be combination of middle range theory. So the formed such grand theory will be empirically testable. Guys, Weber's comparative study of religion, these are the different ways in which the same question can be asked. Okay. It is the same. Comparative study, then talk about Protestants, talk about religion of China, talk about religion of India, talk about Judaism, historical comparative studies. Yeah, they have asked about comparison between Marx and Weber. You don't want to worry about the statement which is given. Okay, Marx is talking about exploitation, inequality and all, right? So basically this one, religion prevents social change by disguising exploitation and inequality. Why religion prevents social change? Religion acts as opium of mass. So this is something which is asked in a different way. Since it is acting as opium of mass, it is like, that prevents that, struggle or the emergence of consciousness. Religion will tell you just get ready for the heaven in the next world, suffer maximum in this world, right? So there is no problem, and it acts as just opium. So they won't go for revolution. It's a kind of preventing social change. But Weber is talking about it led to establishment of capitalism that changed the entire Europe, right? Like that. See, it promises paradise of eternal bliss in life after death. Just the same things that we have discussed. Go through it. Here, moral individualism, bringing ethical codes and following ethical codes, avoiding selfish interest. Okay, so that is to prevent which situation? Prevent the anomie situation. It can be a 10 marker. This is a normal question. Social system, just write social system and its criticism. The answer is done here. Same AGIL model and everything, and its criticism. Okay, that's it. That's about this PDF. I have one more PDF. What we will do that, I think I've shared with you. I'll do that tomorrow. Tomorrow also we'll have session, guys. We'll do that tomorrow. Okay. Any doubts? We can discuss now. So this 4 days, I'm expecting we will be able to cover almost all areas, and that is going to be a good revision, as well as we have covered all possible questions. Now they can ask you questions, but it will be like only the language will be changed, or they will give you some statement. Ultimately, these are what they can do. There is no test here right now. Okay, you can write answers. I'll share the questions and you can write that answers, which I'll share.